think about your, I guess, your path through the ranks has been a little bit different than anybody else. Obviously, you and your dad Jerry have worked together a lot, and one of the things that I love to hear, I want to hear the Jakub Kolar lore. I want to hear how you started in karting. So I'm gonna give you the floor here, and you can tell me about how you started in karting and how you got to where you got to this past weekend.
So mainly gone to motorsports because of my dad. He when he was little, around the same age as me, he did karting as well, and he also played hockey and did all that stuff. And then as he later started to retire from go karting, he started doing motorcycle racing again. And then they had me, and I started coming to his races and stuff like that. Watched it, and just kind of had it in me, in my blood, the racing blood. And he introduced me to karting when I was around 5.5. And funny enough, my first team was actually Inter MS. They weren't the pink and chrome like they are now, but they were. I think it was green, white, and red. And started with Carly, put me on a little OTK go kart in Bambino. Did some laps in that, got some wins, moved up to micro, did micro for half a year, privateer, and then we went up to mini, also privateer. Got a ride with IPK in Praga. That was pretty cool. Went up to Europe when I was 7 and 9. Did some races up there. Unfortunately, didn't make both finals, but it was a great experience. Came back to the U.S. with a lot more info, and we started doing pretty good in nationals. I mean, we got some second and thirds in SCUSA and stuff like that. Met some pretty cool people along the way. Long coach that I had was Christina Vordrin. She was a racer as well. She helped me a lot through my mini career. Then towards the end of it, of my mini career, Jordan Perry, who I'm still very good friends with. Everyone's still really good friends with. He helped me going into my junior year as well. Also on the IPK, going into the RS, the Ralf Schumacher kart. And then got an offer from Carlos Iaconelli to PK, and met all the other cool drivers in that. Got still on the RS kart, and then it was a year that we always had good connection with Eric Jones, since he used to do Kart Sport North America, the IPK.
Hmm.
And it was one year I was supposed to have a chassis come from IPK, and turns out it didn't come in time. And so me and my dad were just talking to each other, and we are like, what are we going to do? We don't have a chassis to run. The race is coming up. And Eric Jones actually gave us, a call, and he was like, so how does it sound if you want to go to KR with us, finally join? And we're like, you know what? No other option. Try it out, see how it goes. He gave us the opportunity, jumped in the Fernando Alonso kart, and we went pole in our first quali feature, and it felt great. I mean, I loved the chassis. It was wonderful. That weekend wasn't the best. We had some problems with the pre-final, then got some pretty good amount of spots from last to get to, I think it was P8, P9 from last. And then after that, Carlos and them switched to Sodi. I was a factory Sodi kart driver for a little bit, and did some races like that. Met Harley and all that. That's when Joe Turney came into the U.S. Figured out Sodi, didn't fit me much. The team, I know, we've been with them for a while. Just figured we needed a change. Went back to KR Privateer, and then slowly started Vice Racing, and that's kind of where we're at now. And just trying to get as many nationals in as we can. And yeah, I mean, the journey has been long and it has been great, but yep, it's been a lot.
Yeah, and I guess growing up, I guess the closest track that you had to, closest to you was AMR Homestead. That's where you kind of grown up. That's your home track. But I know it wasn't always easy, coming from Key West, from where you're from. So talk to me a little bit about that, growing up. And I know you and your dad, as Xander mentioned it, whenever he did your race call, which again, I mean, a lot of respect for that guy. Every time I feel like, he tells a lot of us, the story. He knows you for quite some time. And I watched it back earlier today, and just, the chills that I got. And I want to hear it from you, because I know it was, something different for you. And growing up, you had to, drive hours on end with your dad in the van. So I guess talk to me about that, how it was growing up and spending a lot of time in that Sprinter van with your dad.
Yeah, when I lived in the Keys, it took a long time, especially because of the traffic, the one-way road. and it was like a 3 hour drive every weekend, and we just try to pound laps, even if they weren't races. We try to get the practice in, and it was difficult. Gas isn't cheap. Travel isn't cheap. All that. So we just try to get as many laps as we could. The dedication was there, and slowly, started to get eyes on me and stuff like that. Some small little sponsorships and stuff like that helped me race more. But I mean, couldn't do it without my dad. He's been there all the way through, and trusted the process. And yeah, it wasn't easy to say the least. And then a couple years back, with the hurricane and all that, and my house, going on fire and all that. That was a turning point in my career when I was like, you know what? If this happened, I don't think we could do it anymore. The money's not there. We didn't have a place to stay and stuff like that. But, thankfully to the karting community, which I'm still so thankful for to this day, we raised a hell of a lot of money, got us back on our 2 feet. And we got back maybe a month after. And that's when I think it was IAME Grands as well. I think a year back. And that's when Kevin Harvick, gave me, a chance, and he put some money in and helped me out to race. And I mean, that was a big thing. Him and Eric Jones, they try to get me back into it, try to get my mind off of it. And I'm so thankful for that.